So I thought maybe I would consider singing a lullaby to bring this colorway in, but then I heard my own voice and realized I don't sing, I just talk. In the pots today, we've got a brand new colorway. This one is called Lilac Lullaby. Beautiful colorway, lots of blues, lots of purples. I'm really excited to get this one out. This is definitely up my alley. I love those bright and bold colors, and this is just kind of one of those. So we've already got our yarn in here and our soak. There's 2 full cups of soak in this one. There's lots and lots of soak. What we're going for is we want everything to kind of mix up. We don't want this huge difference in colors. We don't want a lot of white. We want all those colors in the pots mixing up quite well. We're also going with 4 jugs of dye in this one because we really want to take and eliminate as much of that white as we possibly can. We're going with basically straight purple on this side. We've got 4 different shades of purple. We got a really nice dark color on the right hand side. And then moving in 1 step, we've got a little bit of lighter purple. This is basically brilliant violet with a little bit of charcoal, gunmetal, and a little bit of red, actually, to just kind of liven it up a little bit. So basically, we're going from dark, a little bit lighter, even lighter, and then on this far left side, we're going to take and go with dark again. So we're going to get lots of variation across the skein. It's not just going to be a straight purple. We want to get some variation there. Keep it alive, keep it exciting. You know what I mean? If this was just one color all the way across, you would not get a lot of variation in it, and that's definitely what we're going for. We don't want a lot of pooling. We kind of want all the colors to play together. So lots and lots of purple on this side, and then we're going to take it a step further, and actually what we're going to do is we're going to put some sprinkles on it, kind of break it up a little bit more. One thing I did want to try is basically taking the blue from the backside and sprinkling it onto the front side, and then we're going to take the purple from the front side and we're going to sprinkle it onto the back side and see if we can't just get like a highly variegated yarn out of not really dyeing that zigzag pattern, and see if we can't pull something new off. So this one here, lots of purples, a little bit of blue. Now this is our teal sprinkle. I used this before in one of my colorways just a couple videos ago. That was the first time I ever used the teal. I liked it so much. We're going to try it again. Of course, we've cooked it off for probably a good 12 minutes. Now, one thing you're going to see in the pots here is there is going to be a lot of dye left over. That brilliant violet takes a really long time to cook into the yarn. So you really got to take and step it up a little bit and just cook it off for as long as humanly possible. For us, a batch, once it hits about that 15 minutes, it's time to flip it. We got to get going. We can't stand here all day watching yarn boil, if you know what I mean. So we're going to get it in here. We're going to get it flipped. We've got that 15 minutes on the front side. It is time to hit it on the back side here. And then we're going to take and cook it off for a good long while at the end. Like I mentioned, on the back side here, we're going to be going with a little bit of midnight and some charcoal. We're really going to darken it up a little bit. We don't want to take it easy, especially when we're going with that highly vibrant colorway that we're really going for, the purples and the blues, which, might I add, really go quite well together. Purples and blues are, hand in hand. It's like red and green, right? Not that we're going to go down that road right this second, but we've basically done the same thing on the back that we did on the front. We're starting on the right-hand side with some really, really dark blues, and then we're going to go a shade lighter, and then we're going to hit it with another shot of dark blue on the left-hand side. So same thing. Get it in there. Nice and dark. Look at that, right? Just absolutely just pull the whole thing together. We don't want so much dye in here that it's going to take and cause issue with the purple on the front. I know the purple has the ability to stand its own ground, but you don't want to push that purple too hard with the blue, or it'll just kind of disappear on you and you end up with shades of blue with, a really, really dark blue, and then it was supposed to be purple. You know what I mean? Now, on the backside here, like I said, we're going to sprinkle it with some, I believe this was grape juice is the colorway that we were using, the dye that we were using on this one, grape juice. It's going to take and mix up with the blue, so although it is going to be a shade of purple, it's not going to be the exact same shade as the colorway that we called grape juice. a little extra blue in there. Now, let's get this cooked off for a good long while, being as you've got those sprinkles in there. You don't want them to take and bleed off too long. Unfortunately, my camera ran out of memory before I could take and finish that video. So we're going to have to skip the rinse on this one. We are going into the twisting, though, on that Hank twister. First up, we've got the clouds themselves, our chunky weight base. Absolutely super duper soft. Honestly, when you touch this stuff when it's wet, it's like a mop. It really is. Like, it is just heavy and very, very, very filled up with water. And then once it's dry, this stuff just floats. It is incredible to work with. Next, we have our worsted weight base, which is the same 100% superwash merino, 19.5 micron fibers. The whole works. Absolutely my favorite base, hands down. Now, I can tell you right now, I haven't gotten into the Swatch machine yet, but it is looking exactly like I want it to. We've got lots of that purple coming through. We've got lots of that blue coming through. Neither one of them kind of overtook the other. I'm seeing a nice 50-50 between the two, and I think when we get into the Swatch, this is going to come out in that highly variegated yarn that I'm really going for. We can see a little bit of the speckling going on. I didn't see the teal come through on the purple side, to be honest. Like, it just kind of darkened up in a couple spots, but I am seeing that purple come through on the blue side of things. Not to say that blue was a waste in any way, shape, or form. You're definitely getting some character out of it. It's just that blue's not coming through over top of the purple. The purple definitely held its own on that side. So, too busy talking about dye. I didn't have time to mention that last skein that we twisted was our DK weight, which is an 80/20 merino nylon, exactly the same as this fingering weight here. I did again see a difference between the fingering weights and the other weights. Mostly the fingering weight doesn't have as much white in it. The dye seems to go just a little bit further in this fingering weight base as compared to the other ones, which is kind of cool. That's what we were going for in the first place. I do expect a little bit of white in pretty much every colorway. Just a hint every now and then. Like, you can see the fingering weight base is pretty much 100% colored. The DK weight base here, we've got a little bit of white. I'm going to call it white. It is just a nice light shade of purple. So you got a little bit of that lighter stuff coming through. The fingering weight, it's definitely got it. Like, you can see there's a little bit of that lighter stuff, just not as much as the DK weight. And then pushing over to the worsted weight, we are seeing just a little bit more of that lighter color than the fingering weight. It is pretty much on par with the DK weight. It really is. You can see those speckles kind of coming through, right there. So we've got a little bit of that purple speckling on the blue on the worsted weight, and we got there's a little bit coming through there too. It's beautiful. It really is. Not quite as pronounced as I expected. Like, when I was putting speckles onto the yarn, I thought, oh my, this is really just gonna kind of come at you and grit its teeth. But in the long run, it's quite subtle, and it's absolutely stunning. I like how it kind of came through that way. So, chunky weight base. Beside that, it is pretty much on par with the other ones, maybe just a little bit more vibrant, and that is quite typical for that chunky weight base. It does tend to pick up the colors a little bit more. So absolutely love how that blue came through. I do want to point out our chunky weight base in Hank form is a little bit shorter of a skein. Not necessarily in length, but the actual circumference of the Hank itself is a little bit shorter. And that's because it's coming from a different supplier than the other three. We do have our chunky weight base coming in January from the same supplier, and so all of our Hanks will be the exact same length starting the beginning of next year. It's quite exciting. Only took 8-9 months to nail that base down and get it exactly where I wanted it. My mill, the mill that I work with, is absolutely incredible when it comes to really listening and putting together a base that I can truly say is my own and that I'm proud to take and present. I'm really, really excited to get that chunky weight base out here. Couple more months, but it's coming, and I am beyond excited. You can see in the swatch here, this is our DK weight base. You can see in the swatch we've got quite a bit of variation across the swatch itself. Absolutely beautiful. This is exactly what I was hoping to take and see. We've got a little bit of that lighter stuff coming through. We've got that dark stuff coming through. That's not black. That's actually the teal that I've put on top of the purple there. So it did come through in the swatch a lot more than I really expected, which is perfect. That's what I was hoping for. Into the caker. For whatever reason, this is satisfying. I could just sit here all day and literally watch this cake spin. Yeah, I got no words. It is beautiful. We can clearly see all of the colors are really pulled together here. That purple, that blue, they're really on par with one another. And I'm not seeing a lot of that white coming through. It's not like we've got a dark part of the cake and a light part of the cake. It's really quite mixed up here. We can see that speckling coming through in the cake, which is perfect. It's perfect. This colorway did everything I hoped it would and more. Nice color saturation from the outside of the cake all the way to the inside of the cake. We got those blues, we've got those purples. Nothing is really standing out here. I would say this is another successful colorway for sure. On to my favorite parts of these videos, the pairings. So up first in the variegated yarns, we have Lilac Lullaby. Up beside that, we're going to throw Twilight's Glow, which is actually one of my newer colorways. I find the blues and the purples very matchy-matchy, absolutely perfect complementary color for this colorway. And then up beside that, we're going to push a little bit more towards the purple and the red side of things in That's Plum Crazy, which has still got a little bit of that golden yellow peach beautifulness to it. But it really starts to take and drift towards the lighter side of things. Up beside that, we have Maroon Melody, which is one of my newer colorways as well. This one's actually got a little bit of a greenish gray to it. It's kind of cool how this color fades like this. In the videos, sometimes it looks a little gray, sometimes it looks a little green, depends on your monitor, but it's still got that pinkish purple beautifulness to it. Up beside that, we have Serene Oasis, which is definitely one of those pinks and grays. Pinks and grays, purples and grays, you know what I mean, of course. Absolutely stunning colorway, and it really plays quite well into this set. And then up beside this one, I think, in all honesty, this is probably the only pastel I have on any of the shelves at this point. This is I Don't Believe in Humans. It's got a little bit of teal, blue, purple, pink, peach, golden yellow. It's a beautiful colorway to work with. And if you've ever worked with I Don't Believe in Humans before, it is stunning. And I know you guys have been asking for a video. I promise it'll come soon. But before that, let's get into the semi-solids. So first things first, we've got Lilac's Lullaby. Up beside that, we have grape juice. And I mentioned before that we had some grape juice in this colorway itself. The dye that we use is called grape juice. And so this semi-solid just pairs up really, really nice. Even though that purple is kind of influenced by the blue, I think it pairs so nicely. Up beside that, we've got our Midnight. And I think these purple and blue are really just the perfect pair. If the purple really matches, that blue kind of matches. And then we're going to take and push it over into the gray side of things. So this is Charcoal. And I think, to be honest, Charcoal will pair up with just about anything. You could match Charcoal with Midnight or Charcoal with Grape Juice, and it's beautiful. It goes so well. Moving into the lighter grays, we've got Mouse Gray, which is probably the lightest gray that I carry. I find that this Lilac's Lullaby, it's got a little bit of a gray hint to it, although there's no gray dye in it. It feels like it's got some gray, so that mouse gray kind of pairs up kind of nicely. And then we've also got the dark gray, which again, it just kind of plays into it quite well. It is now time for that big reveal. So we can see the blues, the purples, the speckling, absolutely stunning colorway. I'm beyond thrilled at how this colorway actually came out. I was not expecting it to be as amazing as it really turned out to be. It's got a lot of character to it, and I'm loving it so much. As always, swatch available, last photo of every single listing, and there's that big reveal. Absolutely beautiful. Lilacs, one of my favorite flowers. and the colorway to go along with it. Thank you so much for stopping by. I hope to see you again soon.